Hi guys, welcome back to Mental Health Monday. My name is Michelle McQueen Bradley, here to be your international counselor. And today I want to talk about codependence versus interdependence. And we're not going to get through it today, so I'm definitely going to have a part two next time. But today I want to just talk about what codependence looks like. All right, and so let's look at something that I found online that I thought really clarified it. When someone is codependent, there's an unhealthy connection that person has in that relationship. And so let's look at what that looks like. Unhealthy codependence. You're giving up self to get someone else's approval. Okay. You're seeking value through approval and praise. So you're looking for that approval, you're looking for that praise. You apologize for existing, having boundaries. You apologize for being different. You apologize for having feelings, wants, and needs. Absorbing the other person's life as your own. Emotionally enmeshed. Enmeshed means you don't know where that other person begins and where you end, or where you end and where they begin, because you're so enmeshed with them. You're taking on their responsibilities and worries. Seeks self through the relationship. So a lot of people try to find themselves in other people, in other people. Attempts to fix problems and feelings of others in order to be valuable to them. Overemphasizes by absorbing the responsibility for others' pain and situations. Ignores and denies their own feelings. There's a lot of people that do that. They ignore and deny their own feelings. Blurry boundaries and muddy sense of self. There's a lot of people who struggle with their sense of self because they've blurred them with what they think other people are thinking of them and what they think other people expect from them. And that is very, very unhealthy. But God does want us to give. In fact, I want to read in Matthew chapter 5. I'm looking in the Message because it just kind of brings it out. In Matthew chapter 5, I'm looking for it here. In the Message translation, in verse 40, where it says, "If someone drags you into court and sues you for the shirt off their back, gift wrap your best coat and make it a present for them. And if someone takes unfair advantage of you, use the occasion to practice the servant life. No more tit for tat stuff. Live generously." Wow, and it continues to talk about the importance of loving your enemies and blessing your enemies. But that is not codependence. God is teaching us to have healthy interdependence where we're blessing others, because you never know what that person's going through. You don't know how God is trying to call their soul in. And when God has blessed you to be saved and know His will and know His voice, then you end up being that conduit, that representation of Him to that person who is lost, to that person who's acting nasty, that person who's struggling with having integrity. But when you go forth and be His vessel on earth, you end up being a light to them. But you see what the word says is saying, give, live generously, do give of yourself, but not losing yourself. Amen. Your identity is in the Lord. Even Jesus, when He came on earth, He did not heal everybody He came across. He healed who God told Him to heal. Remember, even in the pool where there was all these sick people around that pool, but He only ended up healing that one man that was lame for 38 years. Jesus only went to those God called Him to. So don't do more, don't do less than what God's called you to do, and be interdependent, not codependent. We'll talk more about that next time. But you see, codependence is where you are losing yourself, looking for others' approval, and trying to find your value through their approval, through their praise, and that is unhealthy. All right, we'll talk about it next time. I thank you so much for listening in and tuning in, and have a great week. Have an interdependent week, living generously. God bless you. Bye-bye.